From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
I saw this one on Realtor.com where a house located in my bubble went up for sale, and this thing has 12 frickin' bathrooms. I mean, Jesus. How many places do people need to go drop the damn kids off at the pool? I mean, if there's an issue, does Jeeves the butler get on the intercom? We have a floater in potty 7. That's a floater in 7. And then you see poor old Hector hightailing it down the hallway so that he can hit the lever.
Immature. The man's immature, you know?
From the Mojo Studio on Sunset and Vine, here we go with another action-packed adventure.
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the wrap. All hell has broken out in Texas. Eyes are on Australia, and I'll tell you why. Are you suffering from brain rot? We'll explore it. It's doom and gloom for a new groom who complained about his gross and disgusting bride. And Ozzy Osbourne's final words, according to Sharon. Another round of head trauma is on the way. We're going to play I Start It, and You Finish It, plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including Mojo's Fuggin' Funny and What's Your Point? That's what's happening today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Thursday, December 11th, and thank you so much for being here. We've only got 3 more episodes this year before we split for Christmas. December 22nd, a date you need to schedule. That's Monday, December 22nd. That's when I'm going to announce the winner of Radio Wars and reveal who the best classic rock station of America is for 2025. Now, next year, we've come up with a pretty cool idea. I'll reveal that, too, on the 22nd for Radio Wars 2026.
It's a doozy.
All right, want to escape Mariah Carey this year? Want to get rid of the fluff? Don't forget, we have created Christmas jams on Rat's Ass Rock TV. Connect at ratsasspodcast.com. Fleabag, do you have your TikTok quiz ready to go today? No, really? You haven't found one you think that will stump me? You know, we made the rule that you could pick anything. Maybe over the weekend you'll find something on cooking spices. All right, let's get into the wrap today. By now you've heard Texas tornado and ignorant big mouth Jasmine Crockett announced she's running for the Senate. I decided to take a hard line with this bimbo, and I'm blocking her and anybody who posts anything about her on my social media. And I'm not a blocker. I like to consume everything, but this, enough. Can't take the head trash. And if the TV media persist on perpetuating ignorance in our government because they find them entertaining, well, guess what? I'm shutting them off. And if I should be so bold here, I'd like to encourage you to do the same. Again, do we really need the head trash? Now, I typically record and watch The Five on Fox, and the other day they teased a segment about Crockett coming up, and I just turned the show off. Out of instinct. I just, boom, shut it off. Done. I've had to put up with Maxine Waters from California for decades. Then we had Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, the ex-bartender, telling us how we should live our lives. We don't need Mad Max 5.0 Jasmine Crockett in D.C. talking like she's queen shit. Now, I never say never. I try to never say never, but I'll tell you what. I will do my gosh darndest to make sure we don't bring that evil onto this podcast again. Thank you very little. Yeah. Hey, the stank hit the fan in Australia this week when their government banned the use of social media for anybody 16 and under. Now, as much as I hate big government, there are times when they can be useful. Kind of feel like a hypocrite saying this, but I really don't disagree with what they've done down under. I mean, government's main role is to protect its citizens. We've done it here in the United States with alcohol and tobacco many years ago, and we have enough data telling us social media impacts young minds, and it's all negative. There's nothing good about it. So kind of talking myself into this ban because it falls under the guidelines of government protecting its citizens. And as you guys know, if you listen to this podcast, I'm pretty good about talking myself into anything. But yeah, big government censorship, that's something I wrestle with. But in this case, shout out to the gang down under. I think you're doing a good thing. All right, here's a new one for you. Are you suffering from brain rot? Now, this comes from what is called doom scrolling, and it happens when people spend hours upon hours scrolling on their phones. I'm guilty of this because I prep for a podcast, so I don't feel like I'm suffering from doom scrolling. Then I read the symptoms. Shortened attention span. They say the shortened attention spans are down to 8 seconds today with some people. 8 seconds. Can you imagine? 8 seconds, you got to be onto something else, or you're driving yourself absolutely bonkers. Weakened cognition, experiencing noticeable issues with thinking, memory, and concentration. Impaired impulse control. They say we can get cerebral damage or nerve damage that will affect our walking, our hands, speech, and balance like we're feeling clumsy or jerky. Now, as you know, before Thanksgiving, the day before, I walked smack dab into the wall face first here at the Mojo Manor. Put a little dent in my widow head. And then I started thinking as I read through these symptoms, like maybe there's something to this. Other signs are you're showing signs of anxiety, depression, stress, and loneliness. This is all part of doom scrolling. And, if you have any of these symptoms, they say you could have the beginnings or a full-blown case of brain rot is what they're calling it. You can Google more about it. Do doom scrolling or brain rot, you'll find it. But they say the solution is to limit your time on your phone to less than 2 hours per day and just pick one day out of the week where you don't scroll at all. And they say continue to do this until your symptoms start to feel like they're regressing. All right, did you hear about the groom on social media who got into big trouble complaining about his new wife's nasty bathroom habits? He got roasted and toasted for it. I enjoyed reading some of the comments, but the habit he complained about was her peeing and not flushing in order to save water. And what really put him over the top is when this happened during the time of her month, or her time of the month. We went through a drought a while back here in Southern California, and they recommended that we do a pee twice, flush once campaign, which we did ignore here at the Mojo Manor. We're going to do that. But I'm guessing there are people who actually do this anyway. Probably your earthy liberal types. And if you happen to run into one today with colored hair, ask her if she's into the 2-for-1 club and let me know what happens. And I will tell this to any man who's married or soon to be married. I highly recommend separate bathrooms. Because what a woman puts a bathroom through, you don't want to see, touch, or smell, guys. I mean, it can ruin a man's appetite for the old, who's your daddy action. You've heard the old saying, why did God put the garbage dump so close to the playground, right? Got news for you. It's all a garbage dump. And the only cure for this young man as a new groom is he's going to have to start thinking of himself as a garbage man. Ozzy Osbourne passed away in July, shortly after giving a farewell concert in England. Sharon, Ozzy's wife of 42 years, did an interview with fellow Brit Piers Morgan earlier this week and gave details about Ozzy's final moments and what his last words were. And they were very touching. It's something that you probably want to Google and maybe go to YouTube and find it. I think Piers has a channel too, by the way. But the story goes that Ozzy had been getting up and hitting the head all night, and he came back to bed and woke Sharon up around 4:30 a.m. before he went downstairs to do his daily workout routine and just ask her to give him a big kiss and a big hug before he went downstairs, which she did. Now, without going into, step-by-step descriptions here, the bottom line is Ozzy was found slumped over sitting at one of the machines and apparently died of a heart attack. Ozzy was 76, would have been 77 on December 3rd. But yeah, look that up. I think it's something you might want to check out. All right, this brings us to What's Your Point?, where I seek out interesting points of view on social media to share with you. This is, she calls herself Chatty Annie, and she's on Instagram. Listen to what she has to say.
By the way, if somebody is a Nazi and you know them, you are morally obligated to beat the living shit out of them.
Yeah, so was that a call to action or was that inciting violence? Because I know it was one of the two. But here's the problem with that. You guys call everyone a Nazi that you don't agree with. Let me help you out. The word Nazi is not just an insult. It stood for, you ready? It's a big word. Nazi. O na zo si a li si sa. It is a big German word. The Nationalist Socialist German Workers' Party. And do you know who aligns with the Socialist Party right now? More than conservatives do? Progressives, leftists. Prove me wrong. But anyway, it was a real political party. They built a dictatorship. They ran concentration camps. They committed genocide. They murdered millions. That is what a Nazi is. You disagree with somebody and all of a sudden you're a Nazi. Neighbor votes differently. Nazi. Boss has a rule you don't like. Nazi. Somebody online says something you don't agree with or don't like. Nazi. When you throw that word around like confetti, you don't just insult people. You insult history and show how ignorant you are. You erase the horror of what the Nazis actually did and what they actually were. You disrespect the victims who died at their hands. Disagreement is not Nazism. Opposition is not Nazism. Stop being lazy. Stop diluting evil. Words have meaning. And if you're going to use them, at least know what they mean.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Boy, that's a slice of education, isn't it?
Here comes another brilliant display of sports genius.
Oh, you got that right.
Here is Mojo Elliott with Sports on the Wrap.
All right, Monday's going to be a big day in the NBA. That's when 90% of the players can be traded, and teams will be busy making moves to try and catch up to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who've built quite a nice dynasty for themselves for years to come. So the race is on until trade deadline on February 5th, so hold on to your lug nuts because there's always some NBA GM who does something stupid. Right, Nico Harrison? There has been a big debate racing on my X feed about LeBron James being worthy of having a statue in L.A. at the Crypt. And I've given this a lot of thought because my initial reaction to this was, oh, absolutely not. But then I realized, how can the Lakers not erect a statue of James, who is the GOAT? And if he played for the franchise, won a championship for them, plus the first NBA Cup, doesn't he deserve a statue? So I've kind of changed my ways of thinking on it and say, yes, give him a statue. Pete Alonso is no longer a New York Met. He's off to Baltimore. He signed a 5-year, $155 million deal. The Mets also lost closer Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers for $69 million over 3. I guess the Mets have finally figured out that spending money doesn't guarantee squat in baseball. Week 15 of the NFL season is here, and games to watch this weekend. Buffalo at New England, Green Bay at Denver, Detroit at Los Angeles playing the Rams, and Miami at Pittsburgh. Tonight on Monday Night Football, it's Atlanta at Tampa Bay, and I took the Buccaneers in this one. But they're not part of my Pick 4 money games this week. I'm just throwing it out there at you. I am 39-17 this year, picking winners and losers. That's at a 70% clip. Here's who I have this week. I've got Chicago over Cleveland, Philadelphia over Las Vegas, Jacksonville over the New York Jets, Houston over Arizona. All of my winners are playing at home against teams headed for the NFL Draft's top 10. So teams now at this point in the year, the way I'm thinking is they really don't want to play hard to win. So I got Chicago, Philadelphia, Jacksonville, and Houston as my pick 4 this week. All right, check in the chat box at ratsasspodcast.com. Did something get ready to explode in here? No, I guess not. All right, Chase Matthews, South Bend, Indiana, said, thank you for sticking up for Notre Dame football. My question is, oh, you're welcome, by the way. My question is, should Notre Dame football join the ACC? Well, all your other sports belong to the ACC, so it would make sense, it seems, right? And I think this stunt pulled by the NCAA by not putting you in the playoffs was designed to force Notre Dame football into joining the conference. They want the money Notre Dame Irish football brings into the conference with football, not the other sports. I think Notre Dame football should remain independent because, you know what, if you join the ACC with football, they're probably going to make a deal with the devil there somewhere. Kelly Brooks, Dayton, Ohio. Are you brokenhearted about the Reds not signing Kyle Schwarber? What do you think the Reds' next move will be? Well, I never thought the Reds were going to get him in the first place. I mean, he's going to be 33 next year. It's his last chance to sign a big money contract, and the Reds weren't going to do that for him. In fact, the word is they came up $25 million short. Now, the Reds, all they need is a left-handed power hitter who can play left field for 150 games, hit for average, and whatever it takes to make that happen, the Reds have a chance at winning 90 games next year. I just hope they don't do something stupid like trade Hunter Green or Brady Singer or both. All right, and that's sports for you today on The Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast.
All right, let's play a round of I start it and you finish it. Your job is to simply fill in the blank. 8 out of 10 women agree they want a man who is blank in the sack. 8 out of 10 women agree they want a man who is blank in the sack. Fill in the blank. Think about it. We'll have the answer for you coming up on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Yes, it's Thursday and time for Mojo's Fucking Funny. And you know, when in doubt, when I can't find somebody that really tickles my taint, I roll with the legend, George Carlin.
There are some more people who ought to be strapped into chairs and beaten with hammers. People who wear visors. Let me ask you something. What the fuck is the point in wearing half a hat? Either get a hat or don't. No one's interested in the top of your head. Go back to the store and tell them to give you the rest of the hat. They cheated you. Better still, get yourself one of them little Jewish hats and sew it to your visor. Then you got yourself a full-fledged fucking hat, my friend.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, comedian Andy Dick was found lying in a street in Hollywood after suffering an apparent drug overdose. Dick, who is 59, has had a long history with drug abuse and didn't go into what almost took him out. But the good news is Andy is okay and he's doing fine, but rumors are that it was crack cocaine. Now, you know what? I'm glad he's fine and hope he gets help. But personally, I've always hoped that Andy and Demi Moore would hook up and get married, you know? Demi hyphenating her last name. Wouldn't that be fun to see on marquees all over the world when the movie when a movie with her came out? All right, Taylor Swift's new Disney Eras Tour docuseries is set to debut tomorrow, December 12th. And once you see it, I think you'll understand why the 35-year-old singer is going to pass on doing another tour after releasing a recent album. All I'm going to share with you is Taylor said the 2-year Eras Tour was the most challenging thing that she has ever done in her life, which should put the rumors to rest that Travis isn't that well hung. Think about it. Are you familiar with Instagram influencer Johnson Wynn, who posts under the name Pajama Man? He's the guy who jumped the barricade at the Wicked for Good premiere and grabbed Ariana Grande, and they threw him out. Well, yeah, it's that dude. Apparently, he made his way all the way down to Brisbane, Australia, where Lady Gaga was doing a show, and he was identified by security cameras, so they threw his ass out. So, hey, by the way, shout out to all the listeners of the Rat's Ass podcast down in Brisbane. Got quite a little audience down there staring. Thank you so much for that. All right, what were we talking about? Okay, never mind. Doom scrolling. Remember this kiss cam scandal between ex-CEO Andy Byron and her HR mistress, Kristen Cabot, last July at the Coldplay concert? Well, let's see if you're buying this one. Turns out Kristen was separated from her husband, also named Andy. Apparently she has a thing for guys named Andy, for several months prior to the concert. Okay, now, rumor is that Kristen's husband that she was separated from, Andy, another Andy, was at the same show with a lady he was having a fling with. Now, do you believe it, or is this someone trying to get more mileage out of this story? Somebody trying to get more money for this story? I, for one, am not buying it, because if Kristen and her husband were separated, headed for a divorce, why duck and hide? Why duck and hide? Hey, does anybody want to hear about the ABC network extending Jimmy Kimmel for another year? Yeah, I didn't think so. But you know what? I wouldn't be doing my job or keeping my promise if I didn't tell you. Britney Spears has now been single for 293 days.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
I'm a stickler for keeping my word. All right, this is where anything goes based on your questions, comments, and observations. And today we get to start out with a dating dilemma. All right, this one comes from Mark J. from Corvallis, Oregon. He says, I know you say never date somebody you work with, but I have an unbelievable crush on a girl I work with, but we work remotely. My problem is she doesn't know it, and I don't know how to approach her. What do you recommend? Well, you know what? I've thought about this. I don't really have an issue if you work remotely with having a relationship with somebody, because if you break up, you're not going to see each other. You can distance each other. Maybe keep it on the QT. But this one screams of the secret admirer approach. But that doesn't mean to stalk her either. It means, start surprising her with little things, something that you know that she likes. Send it off to her with something that makes her feel like, who is this? I wonder who's sending me this stuff. And you just play along. You tease her a little bit, but you just don't be spooky about it. All right, Jake C., Tyler, Texas. You always say you're a libertarian, but your views really lean to the right, like a Republican. What makes you a libertarian and not a Republican? That's a fair question. I've been a libertarian since Elder George H.W. Bush was elected back in 1988. The Bushes are globalists. I am not. I just try to keep things simple, man. I'm an America first guy, individual, who believes in limited government, personal freedom, and capitalism. It's that simple. Now, as someone who programmed news talk radio stations for years, I always wanted to maintain an impartial point of view so I could deliver a fair and balanced news product to listeners. Heck of a lot more then than I do now, that's for sure. But that's what led me to the Libertarian Party overall. I mean, over the years, I think the Republicans have moved more towards me than me to them. You know, having grown up in a Kennedy Democrat family, Democrats have always believed in big government. And that's never played well with me because they always feel like they know how to spend our money better than us. And that's always been the difference. Republicans always wanted to get government off your back, where Democrats always wanted to be on your back. Oh, we can tell you how to live a better life. We'll do that for you, wink, wink, and then go spend our money like has been really out of control during the Biden years, right? So, you know, to me, the Democrats today have really moved left of center and are more of an anti-American activist party. They only care about party survival and not the people who elect them. And I'm not saying the Republicans are all that much better in that regard, but at least today's Republicans believe in America first. Randy W., Mesa, Arizona. Can I ask why you left radio and decided to do a podcast? Sure. It's no mystery here, Randy. I didn't really leave radio. It kind of left me. My experience became too expensive for the powers that be, and the feeling just became younger talent understood the move to digital more than somebody, you know, that's been around a long time. You know, forget the fact that I led the implementation of digital technology from the very beginning in the mid-'90s. They just felt that younger people had a better grasp on the situation and paid them less money. What I fought against, though, and I think really kind of dinged me a little bit, is I was against eliminating people and replacing them with automation. My stance was to keep talent in place in key day parts and use technology to supplement them in less important day parts. Because to me, talent is what gives radio stations product differentiation. But overnight, my way of thinking became too old school because talent costs money. And that's what they've always been trying to get around, paying talent. And I started this podcast because I wanted a creative outlet. So I really do this more for me than I do for the listeners, but I'm appreciative that you guys like to hit that play button. You're a bonus. And I'm flattered that you actually press play to hear my nonsense. All right, Keith Q., Durango, Colorado, said, you used to do this thing where you take song titles and make them sound dirty. How about doing 2 or 3 for old time's sake? Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right, Keith. I haven't done this in a long time. I bet that was something we did early on in the podcast, 150 episodes ago, maybe. I started doing this, by the way, as a radio personality. You play these same songs over and over and over again, and it just becomes monotonous. And I just caught myself one day changing the lyrics to be, you know, in the gutter. For an example, I think one of the first ones I ever did was the Four Tops. It's the same old song. We would play that, and I would go, oh, my God, not this again. So I think I started singing, it's the same old schlong. Yeah, I think that's what started it all. And then I moved on to something like Nick Gilder, Hot Child in the City, Angry Baby on the Titty. Then we had Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. In 1985, my God, even when I left work, I would hear this damn song on every frickin' radio station. So it became Everybody Wants to Screw a Girl. So there you go. That's how it all started. Some dirty song lyrics there for you.
I have one for you.
Oh, hello, Alexa. Yeah, go for it.
How about Cyndi Lauper, Girls Like Men That Are Well Hung?
God. You know what, Alexa? Just when I think Siri might be a better choice, you come up with something naughty and brilliant like that. Oh, my God. What was that again? You know? Let's see, what's it say? Girls like men that are well hung. Yeah, okay, that works. That actually works. I can't think of the melody of the song in my head right now, though. By the way, did you know you can take just about any song with the word love in the title and replace it with an F-bomb and it'll work? Like Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. Replace love with an F-bomb. Queen, Somebody to Love. How about Justin Bieber's Love Yourself? Replace love with the F word. And after a few shots of gin and juice, I promise you, it will become a fun party game. All right, Amy S. in Baton Rouge, Louisiana said, what is the last song you played on your iTunes or Spotify player? Well, let's find out. I don't recall off the top of my gourd. Doom scrolling, probably. Let's see. I've got so many doggone playlists here, but going to iTunes, it was the Flower Pot Men from Beat City, from the Ferris Bueller movie soundtrack, Flower Pot Men. Yeah, I have this playlist called The Junkyard that has all kinds of obscure songs, and I was listening to it. Let's see, other songs in here. Sig Sig Sputnik, She Wants Revenge, Sneaker Pimps, Romeo Void, The Runaways, Apollo 440, Omar and the Howlers, CC Adcock, The Hives, Blackouts. Man, it's just like a big bag of mixed nuts there for you. But there you go. That's what I've been listening to. If you have any questions, comments, or observations, send them to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. ratsasspodcast@gmail.com.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head Trauma.
All right, today we are playing I Start It and You Finish It. The question is, and you have to fill in the blank, 8 out of 10 women agree they want a man who is blank in the sack. If you guessed energetic, yeah, baby, congratulations, you got it right. But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. Yeah, they want you to flip them and flop them like a pancake until they get burned, buddy. All right, I got a split. I picked up a side hustle selling Bibles to atheists until Christmas Day. But I do have one more thing for you. Did you know at any given time around the world, 50 million people are drunk off their ass? 50 million people right now are drunk off their keister.
That's why I wish you'd hurry the hell up. I have a Jack and Coke waiting for me.
You're a bimbot. You're an AI bimbot. You don't drink booze, do you?
After being around you for over a year, I definitely do.
So you're saying I drove you to drink?
I am one bender away from A, because of you, Sack Daddy.
Okay, well then, by all means, Alexa, drink up. Put you on mute. There's your muzzle. All right, welcome to Rat Nation, now with 609 members. Tyler Wyckoff, Brooklyn, New York. Yes, Wyckoff when you can sneeze. I'm sorry, Tyler. I went to school with a David Wyckoff, and I used to say that to him all the time. Hey, David Wyckoff, when you can sneeze. Bernice Caldwell, Appleton, Wisconsin. Roberto Sanchez of Gallup, New Mexico. David LaChance from Pocatello, Idaho. John Naylor in Woodwood City, California. And around the world to listeners listening in Berlin, Germany, Leeds and Bristol, England, Wellington, New Zealand, and Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Thanks for sticking around. Go check out ratsasspodcast.com to get the entire Rat's Ass Podcast experience. Listen to shows, read the blog, watch Rat's Ass Rock TV, join Rat Nation during open enrollment, and connect with me on the socials, where the conversation continues between podcasts. We'll do this again on Monday, December 15th. Take good care of each other, and thanks for stopping by the Rat's Ass Podcast.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.